Assalamu alaikum and welcome to today's Sufi teachings. This Sufi teaching series we call Community Connection occurs on the first Sunday of every month at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. It is organized and underwritten by Sufi Center Minnesota with the intention of making the Sufi teachings of peace, love, mercy, justice, freedom, and beauty available to people everywhere. We acknowledge that the land Sufi Center is located on is the traditional and ancestral homeland of the Dakota and Mdewakanton tribes. Sufi Center Minnesota recognizes and respects the enduring relationship that exists between many indigenous peoples and their traditional homelands. We are excited and grateful to have Amal Cindy Wetzel with us today. Amal Cindy holds a bachelor's degree in nursing and was a practicing nurse for over 30 years in specialties such as trauma surgery, cardiac surgery, and education. As a lifetime student of learning and education, she continues to evolve, deepen, and loves to share what she has discovered in her walking to know God. Amal currently is a master healer for the Austin Healing Center and offers private healing sessions to clients. She holds the status of Naqib, a community leader in the Shadhiliyya Sufi community of Shaykh Muhammad al-Jamal. Cindy's Sufi name is Amal, which means hope, a quality that is brought through in healings and teachings she gives. Hope is that subtle transformation that occurs when our wishes are turned towards the divine. Her hope is that you come drink from that ocean of love. Her teaching today is, Who Are You, Man Amt? Amal, welcome, and thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, Abdullah. Beautiful. And welcome everyone that's on this call. Allah. Where to begin? This subject of O You, O Man Ant is a chapter out of Cindy's book, The Music of the Soul. And I am sure that each and every one of you have probably read that chapter several times. And I'll have to confess, each time that I read it, I discover another pearl, another gem within it. So I invite you to open your heart to the deep listening as I offer this teaching to find a new pearl today, one that perhaps you haven't felt or sensed before. The other thing I want to say about the teaching, my sources was not just that chapter, but a lot of the teaching I discovered, the deeper, richer teachings came from the secret of the love of God. And there's just many pages that I pulled from in that book. I was going to post my references, but in my rewriting of the lecture, I've kind of misplaced the page numbers, so I apologize about that. But if you really need it, I can try to gather something like that. And finally, the Quran, because the basis of this teaching will begin with the quote from the Quran about the lamp that lives in the niche. And that is Quran number 15, I believe it is. No, 24, ayat 35. And that's the crux, the foundation of that. And before we start, I'm going to open soon here with a Fatiha, but I'd like to share at the end of my rewriting of this lecture, Allah drew my eyes to Abdullah, there it is, share my screen. I'm going to share with you. This is a plaque that hangs on the wall. My father, may he rest in peace, 30 years ago, was a simple man, and he made this for me. And he said, I wasn't a mall then, Cindy, oh daughter of mine, this will remind you that the light of God lives in you. and to never lose your way and to always connect with that light. And that is our teaching for today. Where do we find that lamp of God burning forever eternal? It is within you. And we're going to follow the breadcrumbs to see these teachings. And through that, we're going to break down that ayat 24. Allah is a light of the heavens and the earth. The likeness of the light is a niche in which there is a lamp. And that lamp is within a glass. And the glass is like the pearly white star, lit from the oil of a blessed tree, an olive tree, neither of the east or the west, whose oil all but glows, though no fire touches it. It is light upon light. And when I speak of the essence of hope, this sacred niche is where we find hope, buried in the deep, deep secret heart. So let us begin with the Fatiha. And sorry, I'm sucking on a lozenge. Bismillah. Bismillah Rahman Rahim. A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. O Allah, cover us with sacred light, sacred protection. Open the ears of our heart that we may hear you. Guide us by your light upon light. May we discover the secret you hold, the path that you open to find our relationship with you, our intimate, personal, reflected essence as our role in your unfolding story of creation. Opening with Fatiha. Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-sirat al-mustaqim. Sirat al-ladina an'amta alayhim. Ra'il maktubi alayhim. Waladolin. Amen. Open your hearts deeply. Feel it widening, receptive to this intimacy with your Lord, the pearl He wishes to give you in this moment, this day. We call upon the light of the holy prophets to guide us in this journey, this discovery. Guide us by our fitra, by your holy essence in our return to proximity, to the warm embrace, the unifying love of Allah. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha Muhammadan Rasulullah. La ilaha illallah. Ibrahim Rasulullah. Musa Rasulullah. Isa Rasulullah. Allah. May the peace and blessing be upon all the prophets as they guide us, expanding our hearts to contain the true witnessing of La ilaha illallah Muhammadan Rasulullah. That's what there is. Rahim. So, inshallah, today we'll bounce between the mental expression of Allah's teachings and the heartfelt. So, we're going to attempt to understand this original creation and discover the holiness of yourself. I think we come into creation and, for a better lack of term, we kind of get mucked up, trip and fall, run into our lineage, our families, things of school, etc. And they become veils that keep us from that original sense of purpose, of divinity, purity, and innocence. So hopefully learning to return to this holy niche, which is in the heart of the beloved. It is written that no one can know me but the heart of my beloved slave. And this is a secret, and this is a blessing. So open your heart to receive that holy gift, to be so loved that you were guided to the teachings that teach you how to walk deeper, to lift the veils of pain and suffering, to purify that your essence, your fitra, which is your story, as it was written in pre-eternity. When Allah, the merciful, the compassionate, created creation, in The Secret of the Love, CD writes, the world is accidental. Allah was nothing, and nothing was with him. So love was the cause of the world's existence. Remember that hadith, ayat kursi, that Allah loved to be known. So he created Adam so that he could be known. We're going to unpack that statement as we move on. So this is this loving, not longing. I always thought the word was longing, but it's loving. Can you feel the power of that love just growing and growing in the omnipotent one who had everything, no need of anything, but he loved to be known, to be witnessed. And that love's longing spontaneously as the lover finds within himself, this reality sprang forth through the breath of Kun. Be Muhammad. And by that loving breath, the world manifested. The breath of the universally merciful to relieve that demand, that longing to know itself through love. See how holy you are? You're very, very special to Allah. That breath came forth out of the original love within the creatures. And it is that which wants to become known to them and to be recognized by them. So this original breath, this fitra, this original essence, small essence that came from the breath of the creation, which is the large essence, Allah's essence. We are not Allah, but we are to witness what He longs to know in the created world. And again, we're going to go to the beginning where Allah took a handful of clay from the 7 regions of the earth and He molded from the clay Adam. But the Quran says that, was it the Quran or the Hadith? Anyway, that the Prophet was a light before Adam was in the hands of Allah in the form of clay. So when Allah made Muhammad, He took the clay from Medina, special clay, to help as a guidance, a stronger guidance for the Prophet to find his way to return to the presence of Allah. And there's secrets in that. And honestly, that's a topic for another day. But the point is, that He took a part of the clay of the Prophet and He kneaded it into, like making dough, to make Adam. Now remember, we're the seeds of Adam. So we carry that witnessing, that leavening. Even Arabic was another one of my sources. William Chittick read a lot from his book of The Tree of Being. And he says that Allah kneaded this clay, kneading meaning massaged it, shaped it, formed it into the form of Adam. And then He said to the seed, "Am I not your Lord?" And this is in pre-eternity. And all the souls that returned to Allah said yes. Verily, yea. So remember this covenant. When we get angry at life, when we get discouraged with what's going on in the world, because that yea is agreement that we carry forth, that we will witness Allah. And what is this witnessing? That's the deep secret. What is the witnessing? The witnessing is He loved to be known. Love to be known. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So take a minute to feel loving to be known. And the secret is in when Allah taught Adam the 99 divine names. It's not this greatness. Oh, Amal, you're a nurse. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Oh, Amal, you're a healer. Oh, Amal, you're a wife. Oh, Amal, you're a mother. No. Oh, Amal, you're hope. Oh, Amal, you're Rahman. Where do I not carry my Rahman? Where do I fall from grace? Where am I tempted to gossip, to talk about another? Oh, astaghfirullah azim, astaghfirullah azim. I forgot my Rob. I forgot the contract. I'm to carry his reflection of love and mercy. And sometimes it's not always the pleasant qualities. Sometimes my duty might be to be a prophet. I see injustice. Maybe Allah wants me to speak to the injustice. He wants to be known, and he will be known in the opposites through the holiness of the divine qualities. So we keep this in mind, because once again, we're lining up with what is fitra, what is buried in this niche. How do I reach it? How do I hold that pole constantly? It's easy and it's difficult. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So my prayer is that each of you awaken this longing in your heart, this longing to know this mission, this vision, the vision, the one vision. We came from oneness, but we agreed to play a role in that one vision. So how do we align our vision, our purpose to the one vision? Even Arabic writes about a pen in the ink. But my abbreviated version of it is that our story was written in pre-eternity. So there's a role we have to play, a part. And that part is to carry his light of the divinity into this created world. So in the face of darkness, we always return. We are so blessed in the Sufi way that Allah gives us tawbah. So in the moment, we can turn. We can alone. So I'm going to talk a little bit what Ibn Arabi talks about fitra. So we know this is our goal. We'll get to the story of the niche and the lamp in a minute. Fitra is that primordial essence aligned with divine essence that lives in the human heart. Now we're going to discover in the story of the niche. The niche is a holy place to display the specialness in a church. So imagine, so this is a metaphor. Our body is like this holy temple, and the niche is going to be the place where the lamp of Allah is held. And we'll get into that a little bit later here. But remember, our fitra says, only the heart of the beloved can know me. And that's also in Ayat 30. But fitra means from the verb FTR. It means to split open, the splitting open. So in our niche is this close of our essence that gets to Allah's light. Because we remember the lamp is in a glass case, the lampshade. And why is that? Because nothing can contain Allah's light. So that lampshade is like a veil of protection. We get close to it, all of a sudden Allah's veils begin to vaporize. Those veils of unease and discomfort. And as we reach our fitra, it opens, it cracks open. And all of a sudden this aha of the truth Oh, my pain and suffering. Oh, my story. Oh, my story. Oh my gosh. Allah, what are you making with me? The beauty reveals itself. It isn't the sad belief that I've carried for years. But you loved me so much. The person that hurt me loved me so much that they played this role. That Allah loved me to even show me this moment of His intimate love for me. We find that truth when we're brave enough to remember Allah. Allah. So, in another way of saying this, the fitra is the place where the light of the spiritual meaning shines through the lamp. And the fitra reflects that essence of the essence, the vision of the one vision. The haq arrives. Gnosis arrives. You begin to know yourself. Sidi says, know yourself to know your Lord. The more you know who you are, the purer you return to that innocence. Now feel this purity light that's coming in. And just watch it with gentleness. Watch what it hits. The places that are tight. Bismillah, Bismillah. Astaghfirullah, Astaghfirullah. Just take this moment to say yes. You are my Lord. I'm so sorry that I forget. I fight against your destiny, your desire to be known. And don't be afraid to ask for the courage, the strength of your Rob. Because we're developing that relationship. Developing a relationship. Because Allah wants to be known. And you're the vehicle that He can know Himself. You agreed to this. Allah. So fitra is that original primordial essence of the small e, reflected from the divine essence. Divine essence is Allah as He presents Himself in creation. He presents Himself as light so He can be seen, He can be heard, He can be felt. Astaghfirullah Azim, Astaghfirullah Azim. So I'm going to read now a little bit from Sidi, who says, "And who are you, O man ant? If you know why Allah made you in this world, then you begin to know everything. When you know why God made you and why He put you in this place, then you will know the secret of yourself. Allah has made everyone to carry the message of the truth to all the human beings. to all the human beings, because we're not the only one who agreed to carry his light, his truth, to agree to know who he is. So in other words, your brothers, your sisters, you're not brothers, you're not sisters. That person that irritates you, where you get your rubs, those are blessings. That is your Rob saying, wake up, Amal, wake up. There's something I want to show you. I got a pearl for you. Now, it may take me several Allah moments, as I call them, because I don't know how long it's going to take. It's going to take as long as it takes for Amal to go to her Rob, ask for forgiveness, settle down the emotions that are stirred up, because they're just like dust flying around. You can't see anything in a dust storm. Astaghfirullah, 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 astaghfirullah. Calming down. Sorry, I've got my train coming through if you hear that. Astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. Calming down the storm of our emotions where we were rubbed. And inshallah, I connect to this fitra, to this rod and staff that lives inside of me, the Muhammadan light that keeps me deeply connected in the safety of his holiness. And then in his mercy, in his timing, he lifts the veils of illusion and reveals to me his truth. What was the pearl? What was he making with that moment for me? A holy, holy moment. Thank you, Allah. Thank you, Allah. Thank you. The blessings of my Rabb. The rub from my Rabb. Astaghfirullah. Allah, 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 Allah. So when you have this knowledge, then you can give it to anyone who wants to become complete. Allah does not want us to just eat, to sleep, but to know Allah. And we know Allah is in everything, everywhere, in every moment. He sees you, he's with you. So instead of seeing otherness in those moments, see only Allah. He is your essence. He is the one who is the vessel. You are the one who is the vessel of his vision, not another. So understand. Stop for all of these. Stop. Stop for all of these. 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 CD then says, and he who knows himself. I mean, who are you, man, Aunt? Sorry, Astaghfirullah. He says, so walk in Allah's special way. How do we open this fitra? How do we build this? That we're going to discover in the niche story that the heart is a holy temple, a holy house of God. So how do we keep that house clean? If the house is not clean, then how does Allah come to visit in that place? Remember, the lifting of the veils of darkness is by Allah's permission. So if we're not clean, he won't come. So it's not like we do something great. There's a lot of doers in the world that don't seem to reach. It's a combination of doing, surrendering my nafs, and then the sabur. Sabur brings patience, bowing, witnessing Allah in everything, and waiting for His Majesty to arrive. And Sidi says, by following the Sharia and dhikr of Allah, through continuous practices, one polished their heart, and Allah lifts the veils of illusions that keep you locked away in darkness. And this darkness prevents you from truly knowing your true self, your true essence. This essence is as close to Allah in that niche in your heart. It's like a room, a sacred room, a holy place. And it's full of light, just like a lamp brought into a dark room, a small room. It lights up the room. It brings the truth, not your truth, your small truth. Oh, they did it to me. That outside life. Oh, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. I say that because of the darkness of it. Astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. What is my heart witnessing? Oh Allah, take me to the niche of my heart, where the lamp, the eternal light, radiates. That eternal light burns in each and every soul, so that I can know you. So give thanks to Allah, worship Him, witness His reflection in creation. Do not see any lack and do not see any excess. Don't compare yourself. Free yourself of all the blemishes manifesting in yourself. Know that all is in its ontological order by Allah's ruling and governance over them. One of the things that Ibn Arabi brings out in his story of the kneading of the clay with the clay of the Prophet Muhammad, that Prophet Muhammad's clay is like a leavening. And anybody who makes bread knows leavening is what makes bread rise, gives it its fluff. In this story of the leavening of the clay, we are made to understand that Allah knows what Allah knows. He chooses who He chooses, and this leavening is only awakened with the permission of Allah, by the permission of Allah. So we can't judge our neighbor because their leavening hasn't woken them up. We can love them, we can guide them, but we do not judge them. We don't know Allah's story. Don't know what Allah is making with them. This is holding that pole, stepping in your fitra, owning your courage, owning the strength that Allah wired you with, your individual essence, your ribbons of those divine qualities. Some are stronger in me, some are weaker in me. And Allah is going to guide me into the purifying of the weak ones, making them stronger. And I do that by calling on them. Allah, you know what I need. Bless me with your Qawi. Bless me with your Qahar. Bless me with your Mateen. So that I, my fitra, may reflect your vision of creation. My slave does not cease to draw near me with prayer and asking until I become the eye which he sees, the ear with which he hears, the tongue with which he speaks, the hand with which he does, and the foot with which he walks. Then he becomes the slave of his Lord. And if he says to a thing, be, then it is. Music of the Soul, page 445. Feel how holy that is. That when you pray for others, Allah is so responsive. What a blessing. What a blessing. That he hears you and he responds. Again, take a moment to feel the holiness that you represent. You are first blessed with this blueprint to find your way of these teachings that teaches how to return. It teaches about the holy sacred prayers. That teaches about the divine qualities so we can discover who we are, how to awaken that sacred place, that holy temple in me. Oh, thank you, O Allah. Thank you, Allah, for you are bountiful. You are generous. You are God, our guide. For you made me who I am. Always, Allah, forgive me, forgive me, forgive me. Pardon me, pardon me, pardon me. Every place, every small secret hidden part of myself that fights against what you created. It was holy, holy experiences. I made them small, unimportant. Astaghfirullah. Astaghfirullah. So as you sit with your sacred place, I'm just going to gently read a little bit of what Ibn Arabi has kind of revealed about this little ayat from the Quran 24, ayat 35. And it says, Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth. A likeness of his light is a niche in which there is a lamp. The lamp is within a glass. The glass is like the pearly white star lit from the oil of a blessed tree. An olive tree, neither of the east or the west, whose oil all but glows through though no fire touches it. This is light upon light. And this last little bit, Allah guides to his light who he chooses, and Allah doth set forth parables for men. Allah doth know all things. This is one of the hardest surrenders. Allah knows what I do not. My ego, my arrogance is always trying to pop up. I believe anyone that still has clay has this issue, has an intellect and a mind which thinks it wants to take over, it wants to know, it wants to categorize, box things up, don't like those emotions, got to put them away, put them somewhere. So Allah is the light of the heavens, signifies that Allah is the ultimate source of illumination and guidance. So when we get to this core inside of us where the light, when I first started on my way in Minnesota with Abdullah, this spot actually appeared to me as a mustard seed of light. That's what I used to refer to it, mustard seed of light. That's how heavy the veils were around my heart, that it was a mustard seed, but it was there, ever burning brightly. And when I would do zikr, it would light up and become larger. So it became like a pulse calling me, come, beloved, come, like C.D. Wood used to say. So the light in the universe is like a reflection of his divine light, because that's how we, in our physical senses, experience Allah, is through light. And so the significance of this reflection of his divine light versus being a part of his essence. So understand, it's not that he's made of light, but this is how he reflects himself so that we can contain his light. Remember, Moses said, "Oh, Allah, show me your face. I want to see your face." And Allah, from his mercy, says, "Look upon the mountain." And Allah revealed himself to the mountain and vaporized. Whew, gone. The power of that, we can't contain it. Mountain couldn't contain it. That's why there's this veil that separates us from that light. Now, there's a secret in the veil, and you'll find that talked about, this beauty, this purity that surrounds Allah's light. As one travels into the secrets of the hidden and the most secret hidden, the slave will begin to taste that purity, that pure, pristine essence. You may have, if you're in ASW in the higher levels, or after 10 years, I don't know where we at now, 8, 9, 10. I've dropped away from it, but he'll talk about it in those levels, because it's at those levels that you can begin to taste that purity, the beauty. It's so intoxicating when you arrive. It's like your eyes open and everything vibrates with this pure essence of Allah. Astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. And inshallah, each and every one of you will taste, because this is how Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, gives us that rich tasting to increase our hema, increase our longing. But no, that longing, that hema is a blessing that comes from Allah. You wouldn't have thought the thought if he didn't drop the seed into your vision. So it would wake you up and you would start wanting to search, to long, to look. Anyone who's met Sidi, our guide, has a story of how serendipity drew them there. That was our Lord calling us. That's that blueprint of the clay saying, "Come, beloved, I am waiting." The niche we've talked about is that space, that sacred space of the heart. CD says that in the heart, there are these layers, and we know them well. We've heard them. The heart, the soul, the secret, the hidden, the more, secret hidden, the most hidden, and on it goes till we reach those higher levels. Astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. See, he also says, you are the mosque. He's referring to this holy house of Allah, this temple of light that we're building. How do we build it? With our practices, with our remembrance, with our good deeds, with our good acts. Those are recorded, but they also help to build a house, a clean house, where our fitra can nourish, flourish. We get to know ourselves because we know our flaws. We know our relationship with Allah, and we become aligned with that universal vision. Who am I, man, ant? Who am I as reflected in your created essence? Light is symbolic of something that makes visible. Without light, there would only be darkness. And by Allah's light, we reflect his perfection. We have gnosis and understanding. I mentioned the lamp is that holy protection that protects us from the light, but yet the closer we get to that light, to that fitra that opens up, the softer we become. It rids us of the density of the clay. It vaporizes those illusional beliefs. I remember when I thought, but I barely remember it. Vaporizes that pain, that suffering. Any of us fortunate enough to have had the beautiful healing that took away an old wound that we've carried can appreciate that. And this one took me a little longer to understand because I guess that's where I have trouble receiving, right? The lamp is like a brilliant star, the physical light in the universe. Like the sun and the stars is a mere reflection of Allah's divine light or his divine intellect, that first intellect, and not a part of his essence. You are the reflection of Allah, not another. Your essence, your divine qualities are needed. You are needed in this story of your life. Where it was ugly, your light was necessary for those in your life. That's tough. But I said, yes, you are my Lord. In pre-eternity, I agreed that I would carry your haqq into creation. I'm sorry. I forgot. I forgot. I got angry. I tried to tell you how it should have been. Anybody get stuck in the loop of going over the past over and over? What they did wasn't right. Should have been this way. Should have been that way. Astaghfirullah, 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 astaghfirullah. You are my Lord. You long to be known. Give me the strength, the courage. Make ease the way. Invite Allah into your story. He knows it better than you do. He hasn't forgotten you. You forgot him. So in this witnessing, aligning my vision with the vision of creation, the self sees beauty of its deeds, marvels of its wisdom, the place of the secrets of the beauty that's in your fitra, the truth reveals itself. And what comes from your heart is holiness, excellence, and perfection. This is who you are. Oh man, and so understand. Oh, thank you for listening. Astaghfirullah. I don't know how much time we have. If we have time for questions. Is it an hour or an hour and a half?
It's an
Astaghfirullah.
hour, Amal.
Astaghfirullah. Sorry, I took it all.
No, 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 no. That's fine.
Astaghfirullah.
It was a beautiful teaching. It was a wonderful teaching.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for having the ears of your heart open. And may Allah bless you abundantly.